Happy Wednesday. I think I know you.
Well,
I mean, I hope so. If not, hello, Kyle Blades.
Hey,
welcome to our show today.
It's good to be here.
Welcome back to our show.
Yeah, it is good to be here. Yeah, there's not a lot of interesting things about me.
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. I'm going to at least tell everyone hello and happy Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I sound like, a donkey, like I should be on Shrek, but I was out at opening day for my son and I hadn't seen him for 4 days, so we both were excited and yelling.
And now sounds like you have strep throat.
I know. I'm sorry.
Don't be.
It's fine.
I need a few days off work.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to get blamed that you're not at work.
Oh, sorry.
So everybody, before we jump into today's conversation, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can join the conversation with us. Today I am welcomed by Councilman Blades to talk trash. But before we jump in, can you tell the viewers who you are, what you do at the city, and a fun fact about yourself?
Oh, yes. I think I was telling you this before the podcast. Not a whole lot of fun facts about me other than I used to work on cars before I did anything, when as a kid.
Like Grease Monkey?
Yeah.
Like fully take apart a car? And
Yes.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Started when I was 9 years old. It's,
okay.
That's probably the funnest thing about me.
Could you take a whole car apart and put it back together? Or?
I've done that with my dad. Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
I used to just sit on the sidewalk and act like I was listening to my dad.
Hold the flashlight and get yelled at.
Yeah.
We've all been there. So I am Kyle Blades. I've been on the council for just 2 years and 2.5 years, something like that. The reason that the number is always fuzzy to me is because I got appointed and I always forget the exact date I got appointed.
You're like, when?
And then after the appointment, I ran for election and I am happy to be here. It is, it sounds cheesy, but it's a pleasure to be on the council. I'm honored that people voted for me because I think that's a huge responsibility when you ask people to vote for you and they do.
Yes.
You're taking on the responsibility, but they trusted you. And so you have to do due diligence to that trust.
Because I'm not sure I'm going to ask anyone to vote for me, but I will definitely vote for you again.
I appreciate that. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting to have you back on. I think last time I was not your host.
You were not. Nick picked up the mantle.
Nick Wakely from Raw Media. Yeah.
Yeah, and he did. And we just went off the cuff.
Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to wing it.
I like it. Let's wing it.
I mean, Eric very famously at the EOC just threw his whole agenda away to the side. I'm still too type A for that. I need my paper.
I think we should all be a little bit more like Eric in that way.
I know.
Just be real, be raw. Let's just have the conversation.
It's always fun and interesting. So today we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about trash mostly.
Trash. So yeah, I think Eric has actually called me the trash guy in council meetings. And
you would probably be my son's hero. Whenever he sees literally the trash man, he has to run and wave at them and cheer every one of them on.
Well, what they're doing is cool. I'm not going to lie. They're driving a big truck. And the waste management folks throughout this whole thing, so I'll just say this right off the bat, they've been pretty supportive, and they've worked with our staff closely and trying to actually help us out and make sure that we get shuttled through the process. We have another consultant we worked, HF&H, the city worked with.
And is this in regards to SB 1383?
SB 1383, yes. So I've been saying it so much, it just rolls off my tongue lately, but most people, when you say SB, Senate Bill 1383, it was voted through in 2016, I believe. That was still Governor Jerry Brown. If you go back, you can do a quick Google and see the various representatives and senators that voted on it. Our senator did not vote for SB 1383, which is Shannon Grove, but that's okay. We have a government for a reason, and everything works how it does. There's got to be balance.
I know. For the last week, I've been saying it. I'm all SB 1383, and I was like, it all rhymes. You can do this, and now here the day comes. I'm like,
so
that one thing.
Yes, exactly. So it's huge. It's changing all of our lives.
I mean, it's definitely a lot. Before we were talking about, like I said, I read the whole ordinance, all the exact terms, and I was like, Eric, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, we're just going to go in and wing it.
So what I did is I sat and read the whole thing, and then I went to Cal Recycle and read what does this mean? Explain it. What is it going to mean for the various municipalities? And then I've spent hours sitting with our staff, which have been, our staff's great. Megan McKenzie, I think you've had her on. She's been great. Yeah. The city manager, Ron, sitting down with me. Just me asking boneheaded questions and having them explain.
Oh, so the layman questions that you're going to get today. Well, perfect. You've been prepped on it.
Well, you should hear my questions behind closed doors. So the way we're going to see it affect all of us.
In the city, correct? And eventually...
So which SB 1383 will affect the entire state.
Okay.
That means even if you're in the county, you will feel the effects of what we're doing.
Okay.
We as in the government, the big government.
The man.
Right? The man. But what the city is doing is trying to get ahead of the curve because not all municipalities are tackling it as head on as we are. We're just trying to get in and work. Working a deal is not the right word. We're trying to work with Cal Recycle to make sure that
to make it more seamless?
Seamless, and if anybody's going to pilot the way, we'd like that to be us. Right?
Okay.
We know there's a lot of municipalities all standing up right now. I think Waste Management said they're working with some 60, 70 different places right now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. A lot of people figuring it out. We have applied for, so I'm bouncing around a lot, so feel free to bring me back in. I'm trying to remember all at the same time.
Okay.
I'll start with what does it do for the city of Ridgecrest?
What's the main change?
People are going to see, and it will be mandatory, 3 bins. You'll see a refuse, a trash. You will see your recycle, and you will see I believe it's going to be green. They're working on the colors.
So I have a green one right now and a blue.
Yes, ma'am, you do. I believe those colors are going to be changed. Green's going to be compost. Blue's going to be recycling. I think
do you know how long it took me to get a 4-year-old to understand the difference between the green and the blue?
Hey, man, maybe it's going to stay the same. I don't know. Waste management.
Everything's going to my chickens.
Which is a lot of, so that's great. I'm glad you said that because there's a lot of folks that heard the council meeting. Those council meetings are only so long and you can only ask so many questions. And a lot of people don't want to call in and ask these questions because who wants to be on YouTube asking a question that may have been
I don't know. Why are we here on YouTube today?
You do. Apparently I do as well. A lot of people in private ask me, can we still haul our own trash? Yes. Mm-hmm. Can we still take our compost and do what we've been doing? Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to put it, I want to do my own things. Sure, keep doing that. Keep in mind, you will still have those bins. They're going to be there. That cost is going to be incurred on you. And this is, the controversial thing that I'm going to say is if you're looking at it like an in the back door tax from the state, well, it is. There's no way around it. And the state does that a lot, actually. It's an unfunded mandate, so to speak.
Now, one thing I did see, it's currently 7 or 8% of people do not have trash service currently.
You have something well over 90% of the people already subscribe to trash, and they're going to see an increase in their bill. We're not expecting it to be a lot. I say we because our city staff is working daily with Waste Management, figuring out what it's going to look like. And then Waste Management on their end, they're doing their own supply chain issues, manning issues, figuring out what it's going to cost them. So there's a lot of back and forth between us. And
there's someone that has to drive the truck, and the truck needs something to make it go.
You're right.
And I feel like we're all feeling that now.
We are all feeling that, yes. Inflation's not the only problem, right? Gas prices are high.
Right.
So that's another good segue. It's almost like you're a professional with this.
It's almost like I might have read something and did some homework.
So what I wanted to bring up was that we see the trucks driving around. We know, and I've heard this said, so I want to squash this right now, that a lot of people believe that when recycling goes into the truck, it just goes right to the dump. Goes to the same place, right?
Right.
Not a true statement. And I asked that question at one of our last council meetings. I asked the Waste Management. Mm-hmm. No. That recycling goes to a sorting facility. They sort it, and then once it's sorted, they may take trash out of there to the trash.
Okay.
The recycling then goes, I think, then it goes into like an open market, right? I think there's land capture and...
Well, that was one thing that I kind of wondered about because I was like, if I'm throwing all my recyclables into one place, but I know the recyclables need to be sorted even further, like aluminum and plastic, who's doing this for me?
Right. So there's a local entity that's doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it goes there, they sort it out, and then recycling itself goes on, goes down to the harbor, goes down to goes to Lancaster. They all play it on the market, and that's a whole nother DV episode.
Wow, I know.
I only know that much because my dad's deep into the business. And
all I remember is going to, was it Pearson's, and having to sort it myself.
Mm-hmm. So I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Pearson's still doing that for Waste Management now, sorting.
Okay. Maybe I'll have to ask him.
Right.
Have a member episode of DV Live.
Exactly. Yeah, figure it out. So that's the big change. People are going to see the 3 bins.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be paying for them. Not great, but it was voted through through the House, through the Senate. It's there.
It's coming.
It's there. Nothing we can do about that. I have heard this. I'm going to tackle another one straight on. We would like the city to fight the state. That's what's been requested.
Really?
And yes. Now that's not the first time. That's not the first instance.
Is it because we're considered rural? Could
so
we have an exemption?
We could not. And I'm glad you asked. That's another great question. You are on top of it. You really are. We cannot be granted an exemption. It's our staff asked. They wanted to know if we hit that population amount. There's actually only a couple of different instances you can get an exemption with the state of California. One of them is being really rural. The other one is certain elevations. Like I'm wondering, maybe not Mammoth, but maybe June Lake, like places like that.
Okay.
I don't know. But if you're at elevations and very remote places.
So we're not considered remote enough, like as a city?
We are not.
Interesting.
And our population just pushes us over that.
And we're continuing to grow.
We're continuing to grow. Well, hopefully in a measured and organic way. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Right. So that's SB 1383.
Okay.
And I think some of the other questions that have came up, and these are all valid questions from the public. Hey, we're getting charged extra money. Okay, where's this compost going? Compost is going over to Bakersfield. There's a facility just for the compost.
So it's staying within the county.
It will stay within the county.
Okay.
It will. Then there is provisions within SB 1383 for some of that compost to come back to the local municipalities. If we want to use it, if local people want to use it.
So like the community garden or something?
Exactly, which is what I had in mind too, because the community garden's doing such great things. I was thinking, man, how wonderful would it be if they expanded some of that compost is going right to them. Why not, right?
It would just be nice to have it come back locally.
Mm-hmm. And I've looked around on the internet. There's some places in the Midwest who do programs like this, and they just have like a community compost site that people can just back their truck up to and grab a bunch of for their gardens. Yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So, well, what else?
The other thing I will ask is people checking the bins before it's thrown away.
So initially, we know there's.
Are they not going to take my trash if I have like a banana peel in the wrong place?
Just straight to jail.
Oh, do I pass go? Do I collect $200?
Nope, don't even.
Dang.
Yeah, no. What's going to happen? And so education's the biggest part of this. And this is something I'm glad you had me on, because I said it in the council meeting. But I'm guessing this is getting a lot. You get a lot of views.
Oh,
so hopefully,
do I?
Well,
at least I did my hair today.
Right, exactly. I did not.
It's fine.
Wow.
You're living like my 4-year-old. It's fine.
Yeah, your 4-year-old's probably living the right life. Doing things right.
He wore pajamas to school today, so that tells you he's living his best life.
My daughter wore socks with her sandals today. And I said it was okay, and my wife was not happy about that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Spirit animal.
She is. She's doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
So the people need to understand that the city is going to walk with the public and communicate, like walk through things with them.
Okay.
Communication is going to be a big deal. It is for us. We are going to, not just social media. We're going to try to get stuff out through mailers to folks.
Right, because not everyone's on social media.
Right. Yeah, not everybody's on social media. You'll see stuff in the newspaper. You'll see stuff anywhere that you receive information. We're going to try to get it to you.
And I assume they'll be able to contact the city too with any questions.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Some folks already have. They're getting ahead and calling the city. They need to keep doing that. That's our job. Get a hold of any of your council people, right? This isn't just about me. All of the people up on that dais know what's going on. Get a hold of them. That's what we're there for, is to, be that interface with the public. So we're going to walk through, and I've even seen it pitched. I think it was, I forget whose idea it was, to come up with like a magnet, like a refrigerator magnet with this goes in this bin, this goes in that.
That's fantastic, though.
I love it. Great idea. I think it's a great idea.
I think I still have my little magnet from the dump that says what days they're open, and it's literally every day of the week.
That's pretty. I wish I had one of those magnets, because I can never remember. There's certain days of the week or days of the month that they do the toxic waste pickup. Yeah, I don't ever remember what that is. I have to Google it every time. I literally I have to go to my fridge and go look. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the stuff I wanted to dive into with SB 1383, because I asked a lot of questions in the last meeting.
Okay.
And
the last meeting was the second reading.
Yes, it was.
Of it.
And actually, the first meeting where we applied for an exemption, which is what the schedule is supposed to be by CalRecycle, which was granted, by the way, which was good. And so here's the exemption. I need to explain that. So I'm bouncing around a lot. I'm sorry, Amanda.
It's okay.
Just the exemption, we the staff, we the city, wanted to be able to tell the people that we're doing everything they can to cost them as little as possible.
Okay.
Because we know it's kind of us. We're the intermediary. We are negotiating.
Well, you guys are going to get the cost too.
Yeah, we are too. So what we wanted to do is take the trash itself, the refuse, so just your random
throwaway trash,
not recycling, not compost. We wanted that to be picked up twice a month because we feel that between recycle and compost, you won't need to take that trash. I know there's probably a lot of people listening right now who are going,
my trash bin fills up before.
My trash bin, okay, well.
If you're properly sorting your items.
Is the theory. That's the theory. So here is, we have.
And I think at that point, if it is full, you could still haul away.
You could haul it yourself. It's just not going to be picked up. And also, we have talked to CalRecycle and they have said if this becomes a huge issue, you're going to have to go back to the once a week. Oh. And it's going to just it'll cost people more money, sure, but that's the way it's going to have to be. So I don't think it's going to be an issue if things work out how they're supposed to, if people are sorting this. So that's another thing I wanted to convey. We're not doing anything new. This is being done in cities all over the state of California, and not just the state, it's been done in other states. Okay. And not just in the United States, it's done in Europe very well.
Everywhere.
They do it very well. We actually had a public comment saying, they were in Germany with some family and they were remarking about it was like 5 different bins sitting on the counter, and they were just they sorted it. They backed up to the dump. It was all, there wasn't anything buried. Everything was sorted and handled very professionally. I would love to see us get there, us as in the United States. I would love to see that happen. But
I'm sure it's not going to happen next year.
No, but you start that process like this.
Yes.
So it all depends on how you want to see conservation go. There are other questions from the public that I'm sure I could bring up, but I don't know how much you want me to keep diving.
There's so much out there. I feel like the whole bill itself was just a lot to dive into. Like, it's a lot for one. To chunk it down.
It was a lot. And then what the state did is they passed it off to the branch. They handed it off to CalRecycle. They go, all right, here we go. This thing got voted through. Have a nice day. CalRecycle goes, oof, this is the best we got. Hey, municipalities, over to you.
Oh.
Figure it the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
So, again, for like a third time, kudos to our staff for doing that.
Everyone's just playing hot potato with it.
They have, and it landed right in our lap, that's okay. That's what we're here for, right? To do those.
So can you tell us a little bit about when we could see implementation, or still working?
We're thinking springtime of 23, and then probably not enforcement until like 24.
Okay.
And then, the enforcement's probably going to be through code enforcement. We've floated a lot of different ideas, but that seems to be the one that's making the most sense.
There we go.
But, it's no different than the rest of the codes around this town that have to be enforced. We all hate talking about it, but, when you're living in a neighborhood and you don't like that it's getting dirty or trashy, or that there's this guy's weeds up to his windows and there's broken down cars, that's all code enforcement, and that's our job.
I'm sure they have a lot too, but...
Oh, they're overtasked, overloaded.
It sounds like the education portion is going to be good on all fronts.
I hope so. We're coming at it as hard as we can. I say we as in the council members and the staff. Just things like this, which I appreciate. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, then they can email me, drop a comment. I will forward it on and be like,
please do.
You need to come back. We need to talk more trash.
Yes, please do. And we can dive. I dove pretty deep with waste management. I dove pretty deep with our consultant who works with CalRecycle. Okay. So I believe I have a really good understanding, even behind the theory. So they told us, because I was like, wait a minute. So now you're going to have more trucks.
Questions.
Yeah, I was like, all the questions right here.
You're like the little Triceratops from Toy Story. I have all the questions.
Exactly. I figure, if I have them, other people have them.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, why? We're about to pay for more trucks to be on the road, putting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
And then that's going to have to be road repair.
Right. All these things, all these things are adding up. Is that really offsetting getting these compost items, which that was the whole push behind it, is that when you put these, I forget what the exact word is, but when you put this compost into the landfill, it quickly dissolves, but puts off a lot of methane.
Because it heats up, it starts cooking.
Yep, it's cooking, starts deteriorating. It puts off a lot of methane. I guess it's a high amount, according to studies. Right, it's one of the but like somewhere in the top 5 of the contributors to greenhouse gases. There's 2 large offenders in greenhouse gases. That's carbon dioxide and methane. And so, the state of California is trying to get ahead of things and maybe mitigate some of that methane. So I go, but you have put more trucks on the road. I don't take it at face value. What we were told is that the state has done a study to see that they think that's still offset. Sure. That's the face I made.
Do they have a deal with Tesla coming that they're going to all of a sudden show?
No, you're right. That's exactly the face that I made. I was like, well, okay, I'll have to press the I believe button. So then the rest of it, I was like, okay, well, you're just moving it to a compost facility. That methane's still going into the atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
Not true, apparently. These compost facilities trap that methane, whereas a regular dump will not.
Because outdoor versus indoor, I guess?
Right. That's kind of what I'm picking up. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. They're trapping the gas on purpose. They can do other things with it. Apparently, there are ways they can reuse that methane. Are we doing it very well in the state of California? I don't know, but I know that it has been done in other places. So they're hoping to reuse that methane and sell it on the market.
If you get any more information on that, feel free to be like, hey, we need to have another show.
Right. No, so I asked as many of those types of questions as I can.
Yeah, because that's interesting that when you put it into perspective like that, like long term, you can think about it.
Well, and I think there was
it.
Right. No, you're right. There was a comment I had. I have never once backed up to the dump and thought there should be more stuff here. Right. Well, I'm sitting on a hill already, looking up the whole valley, a hill of trash.
And it used to be like how much lower when we were younger?
Exactly.
It's like where?
So there's never been a time where I'm like, oh yeah, we should really stuff more trash into here. So if there's any way we can do something productive with what we're putting in that dump, let's go do that.
Right.
However, is it also not? This is one thing I'm not happy about. I wish it was not mandatory, personally. It is, but I wish it wasn't, because there's a lot of people who can't afford an extra. It doesn't matter what that number is.
Extra bill.
Right. An extra bill is not, now we see the rise in oil, the rise in inflation. So people were already not subscribing to trash service because they didn't have the money.
I just opened my gas bill and I was like,
yeah, PG&E.
Yeah.
Twice. My bill's doubled.
I was like looking, I was all, what?
Yeah. So I know I'm kind of nerding out here.
No, that's fine.
I asked as many questions I could think of. Reusable or compostable bags. That was because people were like, hey, I don't want to deal with food, the mess.
Yep.
We put it in a trash bag. I like to put it in a bag.
Because the trash bag is plastic, can't go into compost.
Right, but there is going to be compostable bags available. I think at the beginning, Waste Management's going to get some out to us. Don't quote me on that. I don't think they've agreed to that, but I know that we're trying to get a hold of them.
But there's a possibility.
There is definitely a possibility. And
I currently have a glass bowl that has it's called my chicken stuff. So that's just going to get dumped into a bin.
Or I don't know what you do. You give it to your chickens, or maybe you have a compost bin.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already doing it, right? You're already doing that thing that we're trying to get to. But we know that most of the citizens of Ridgecrest do not.
I mean, it's hard.
I don't.
It's
I'm not a hypocrite. Like I don't.
Let me tell you, it's been a few months and just getting like the concept of thinking like, I've Googled like, is this compostable? Mm-hmm. Something as simple as like, I don't know, potato skins.
Sure.
Because those I can't feed to my chickens.
Right. But stuff like that and bones.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's because a lot of people will go, well, hey, we're supposed to be putting this on the garbage disposal. Well, there's a lot of stuff that can't go down the garbage disposal. Like say you order a pizza and that paper that's underneath the pizza. Well, it's soiled with grease and food stuff.
Yep.
That now needs to go into the compost bin.
Oh, really?
Not the recycle. Goes into the compost bin because it's soiled.
Because it can break down.
Right.
Got it. Because that's like the brown waste that I put in, like the paper bags, into compost. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole science, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, which I'm not going to keep diving much deeper than what I got because I'm not that smart. But.
It's a lot, let me tell you. Farm life is hard.
So that's been 1383. And so you asked all the right questions. I appreciate that. We're going to see implementation as soon as we can.
Okay.
People, the question everybody has on their mind, the first one is, how much extra is this going to cost me? We don't have an exact dollar amount yet. We don't expect it to be enormous, but those negotiations are still happening.
Just from you derailing on your own and going here and there, I was like, I'm not even going to touch that question.
Well, no, it's a valid question. Yeah, everybody should wonder. I'm curious. I'm asking the staff of every free chance I get, hey, have you figured this out yet? And they're just like, we got it.
We're still working on it.
You know what? And they do have it. They're all over it.
That's awesome, though.
Right. They are. We have a very good staff. We're lucky.
So continuing with trash, community cleanup events.
Yes. So I've tried to, even when I first got appointed onto the council, a lot of people were like, hey, new kid. Hey, new Jack. We want more traction on picking up trash around town. I was like, you know what? I know that there have been off and on projects. I know like the Ridge project was doing really good things.
We did it when I was at the cinemas for our volunteer week during Earth Day and all that. We would get out there and have the kids volunteer and we'd be picking up trash.
It's a brilliant idea. It's good for us all to do. I got to say, when I get out there and start doing it, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm doing this. Am I going to just take off all of my random Saturday mornings? And not always. No. But if they're arranged and other people are part of it and the community's taking part, that's what I've been trying to do. Yeah. Find a good weekend where I have the free time so people it's not like I'm just directing people to go do something.
You're not volunteering people.
Exactly.
You're actually out there.
No, and I stay out there from whenever we start, which 8 o'clock till noon or 10 to 2 or 4, anything like that. Just get out there with a bag and some pictures and fill up some bags. I usually get the waste, like a big bin donated from Waste Management
that's awesome.
There's another business in town that's donated it when I've asked. And we just fill it up. And there's a code with the county where we can get them just to accept, because it's a community cleanup. It won't charge us for it. So
that's awesome.
As long as there's there's a list of things we can't put in there, tires and big, metal objects.
Computer monitors. I was out hiking and I was all, who throws out a monitor?
Yes, there's some awful stuff in certain areas that we got to get on. Yeah. I wish I was doing more. But for anybody listening, if I'm not doing the trash pickups just because of time, that's really all it is. But when I find the time, and I'm going to arrange more. Okay. Through Mataringo Museum, we did one just last month.
And that's what I was going to ask. I didn't know if they were monthly or...
it was an opportunity. They just happened to have a conservation group coming to visit them. And they were visiting doing something else. And they go, hey, we would like to clean up the grounds around the museum. And they go, look, we have a groundskeeper already, but how about you guys move out and clean up the desert around? And they were like, we'd love to. So museum gave me a call,
and it just went from there.
And it was easy. Okay. So I appreciate them working with us, and I'm going to keep trying to do those as much as possible, as much free time as I get.
Well, I'll be sure to share them at least if I see it on social media wise. That's where I saw it last time. And I was like, look at them out there.
Yeah, I try. I'm not the best at social media, but I try to get it out there as much as I can.
Yeah. So before we wrap things up today, can we talk about the Caltrans Clean California local grant?
The Clean California grant.
Yes. Okay. And that's going to go towards the Leroy Jackson Park.
Jackson complex. A lot of stuff's going on. I actually have a list here of stuff that it's going to, let's see. So there is a walking path that never got completed. So that's going to be finished up. Okay. Shaded benches, solar lights along the walking path.
Oh, that's nice. I just saw those, the solar lights at Pearson Park.
Mm-hmm.
They're really nice.
They're real nice. Yeah. Parks and Rec got that out there pretty quick. There was some complaints from the public. Hey, it's getting dark soon. My kids can't play at the park. Yeah. They got right on it and got some lights out there.
That's awesome.
Developing a new dial-a-ride stop.
Okay.
Constructing lights for the tennis courts. Defining field edges with beautiful drought-tolerant shade trees. We do need.
Now, is that for the softball complex part, maybe?
I think it's around that whole center part. I wish I had
a map.
I had a map I could just
I know.
Point to.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, maybe next time. Nick, maybe next time.
We'll get on that one.
No, I think it's around I think it's towards this, like the paths are on the center.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you guys are more prepared.
Yeah, if we were more prepared, you're absolutely right, Nick.
Nick's over there making little comments at us.
Yeah, I should come to things more prepared. It's
maybe just open an email.
I should definitely open all the emails you send me.
Maybe if my email was working properly.
There is that. So drinking fountains with bottle fillers.
Ooh.
So there's a few things going on at the whole Leroy Jackson complex.
Well, I think that's just amazing because It's not a matched grant. It's here's the money.
It was competitive.
Here's the guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Go figure it out.
And it was awarded.
Our staff went out and did a lot of work for the grant to bring it in. There's plenty of ways, and we have found that out in the past, that you can not get grants. You can, you put, gotcha. I don't know what it's like. I've never written a grant, but, applied for a grant, but there are plenty of ways you can miss out, and whatever it is, they did it all right. So,
well, kudos to the team.
Yes. Yeah. Big kudos to the team.
I don't think the studio is big enough to have them all in here, but
no, it would be, awesome. It would be cool. It would be cool because they're all working hard to get this stuff like this done.
I'll have to bring Megan McKenzie back on.
You should. I'm sure I don't know how much she wants to be,
She's going to be like, but why me?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that was the big stuff that I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
I think that was
it.
Anything else, 1383, please do hit me up, especially if, the city staff only has so much time, only so many minutes in a day. And they have 5 pain in the neck council people bothering them.
All the time, I bet.
Oh, no, constantly.
But that's good. I feel like it's getting the conversation going. It's same with this outlet. If you guys are watching this and you have something pop in your mind right now, drop a comment. I read those things. I look at them and I will find out the answer the best I can or direct you.
Sure. Yeah. And forward on to me if you're like, hey, boom, you could, feel free to tag me on something if something I need to answer.
Awesome.
I think that what we're seeing right now in Ridgecrest, California is we're at a pivotal moment. And it sounds like a very like a cheesy movie-esque thing to say, but
all I could think of was Ross pivot with the couch. I'm so sorry. I totally
no, you're good.
You're welcome.
But it does feel pivotal. These are the types of things that we need to push for. We hear people, they want to move, not in a political sense, progressive, but progress is good. Cleaning and caring about the environment. All good things.
Well, and I think it's good you have it seems like more diverse group of people are starting to speak up or take notice and
they are
get interested.
It's due to things like this, right? It's due to any, outreach, talking about topics that people want to know, even if they're kind of a little bit dry. Who really said, well, I do, but I'm dry. But if...
who wants to know about trash?
Who wants to sit around and talk about trash?
Well, obviously we did.
Yeah, we do. But but talking about topics like this, getting out there, you're...
well, and you guys are, I feel like the city's reachable now. Mm-hmm. Whereas before, seems like a lot of comments it was closed door. No one knew how to get a hold of anybody, get an answer. And now it's so easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about the average person, how busy you are in a day. I know you're busy, Amanda. Nick, I know you're busy, right? Do you have time, like, honestly, do you have time to stop and read about 1383 or pick any other topic, pick a random topic? No, you don't. That's why you elected somebody. Like you said, I trust this guy enough to make a decent decision on my behalf. I'm electing this guy. So then that's up to us to go do that due diligence. So, the mystery of government shouldn't be such a mystery. Maybe we representatives need to get out there more, but, you vote for who you vote for, and they represent the best way they can. I can at least say that for what's going on with our council. They all have their unique windows we fit in. I am not excellent at this stuff. Like Solomon is, brilliant guy. Every one of them have their own qualities that are great.
I think that's good for you guys to be cohesive like that. Mm-hmm. You don't see all of you at one event. You guys all have your own little niche.
So last time I was here, you weren't asking the question, but Nick asked me the question. It was a good one. He said, hey, when you guys come up on a topic that you don't all agree with, what's your philosophy on that? You're not going to all agree. So how do you move forward?
Right.
And I told him, it's kind of like a car, right? Well, you may not agree, but like if one tire goes flat, you're demonstrating to the public that we can't agree.
You guys are human.
Well, yes, right. But then you air up the tire, you fix it, and you move forward.
Yeah.
You keep moving forward. That's the way it needs. I believe things should be done. Behind closed doors, we definitely get into closed sessions and we disagree with each other, and not rudely. At least as long as I've been there, we're all pretty. We show decorum, but
adult hashing it out.
I get worked up. I do. I get excited about some things.
But I think that goes to represent who votes for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to agree on everything with everyone.
Yeah, I actually had somebody say that to me one time. They were like, "Kyle, show some passion, man. Like, come on, man. I didn't vote for you so you could just sit up there and just be dry. Show some." And I was, "You're right. You are right." I try to hold myself back a lot and not be as mouthy as I maybe would like to be, but I'm working on it.
But that's a good mix because I feel like there's some other people that can take that cake for you, for all of us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's just plenty.
In a good way. I do mean it in a good way.
Yes.
But I can't get my mom voice like that too often.
No. But you're not thinking about getting into politics, are you, Amanda?
No, we talked about this before.
I'm going to throw it out there while we're on live. No?
We already talked. I don't have enough time in the world.
No, I know. You don't have, there's not enough time.
I could be up there though. I mean, I'll be asking the questions as well.
You could ask these, yes.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be today's question for everyone to answer. Should Amanda run for something political? I
think that she should.
That's on there now.
Yeah.
So
toss it around.
We'll think about it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks I appreciate you having me here.
Yes, I appreciate you for coming back and being on the show.
Yep, I loved being here. I do love diving into this stuff. Okay. So, the next time you got some, topic that nobody else wants to tackle, feel free to call me back.
Hey, Kyle, I don't have someone to be on my show today. Can you come back and talk?
Yeah, hey, do you want to talk about, We'll
wing the whole thing?
Yeah, we'll wing it. That's okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, and thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to tune into tonight's City Council meeting, since this is airing on Wednesday, 6 p.m. over on the City of Ridgecrest YouTube. Have a good night, everybody.